All right, the Vikings didn't get blown off the field, but they lost at home on a day when everything was pointing to a win. All the factors, all the tangibles and intangibles, the throwback uniforms, the Bud Grant ceremony, the fact that it was 1 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Eastern, Kirk Cousins is Superman. Primetime Kirk Cousins is Clark Kent. And so when the Vikings looked ordinary, when the Vikings should have won that game easily, it felt like it was just a matter of time before the dam broke and the Vikings would win. Now you got Baker Mayfield apparently telling Rachaad White that they picked up the Vikings' defensive signals, which doesn't bode well for the future. It all comes down to whether or not Kirk Cousins can get it done. And here's Kevin O'Connell, coach of the Vikings, on how to keep Kirk Cousins being aggressive despite the fact that he had some red zone mistakes on Sunday.
I think it was a situation where he felt like that's not even a half a click. That's maybe a quarter of a click away from probably being a catch, and then KJ's got a chance to split two and maybe score. I think looking at it again, 13-yard line, wherever we were, it's going to be a little tighter. Things happen faster. That's a play that Kirk's executed multiple times, and he knows he's going to continue to stay aggressive in those moments, and there's no question that we would have loved to finish that drive with a touchdown, but always want him to be aggressive, play what he sees, and he did a lot of really good things yesterday as well to help us stay in the football game despite the turnovers and the penalties, being so favored critically and against us.
3 first-half turnovers for Kirk Cousins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that one's the one that O'Connell was referring to. It was a half click away from being a touchdown. And when he threw it, you would have thought, hey, this is, but it's a little bit behind the receiver. It's a little bit behind the receiver. Now, it had to be a little bit behind because you had a safety there ready to lay the lumber on KJ Osborne, but this is not the way you want the season to start, obviously. If you're any team, you're at home, big day, team that went, what was it last year? How many games did they win? 13-4. They won 11 one-score games. These were the games they found a way to win, and it just felt like they were going to find a way to win it, and it fell apart. You saw Kirk Cousins there frustrated. Justin Jefferson was looking dejected near the end of the game, as he should have. The Vikings just didn't have it on Sunday, and they got to turn around on a short week and go to Philadelphia, where they got plastered last year. One of their ugly performances last year in a season full of great ones. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do on a short week. Now, last time we saw them rebound from a difficult home loss on a short week, they beat the Patriots on Thanksgiving night, but that was at home. This is into Philly for the Eagles home opener, and the Eagles had a little bit of a close call. They give Nick Sirianni some ammunition to get their attention and get their focus for Thursday night. I know what tomorrow night's going to be. And if I'm wrong, so be it. But I know what tomorrow night's going to be.
Uh-huh. Oh, I thought you were going to tell me what it was going to be. I didn't know that you weren't going to say it because you don't have to say it. I mean, yeah.
I don't want to say
I'll say it for you. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to go in and it's going to be prime time. And then, he's going to throw a couple interceptions and he's not going to look very good. That, to me, is what you were getting at. And I'm pretty sure that's what you meant. And you just didn't really want to say it. But I guess I have to articulate it for you. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I mean, I watched the quarterback series with, I was very encaptured by it and I really enjoyed it. But I wonder how frustrated sometimes that Kevin O'Connell gets with Kirk Cousins, because Kevin O'Connell to me seems like a very, very good offensive schemer, offensive play caller. I heard many times the good effect that he had on those 2021 Rams as the offensive coordinator and the influence he had on Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and all of that. So I think he really knows what he's doing. And so when he is in that explanation and he's kind of searching for the words of what exactly he wants to say about Kirk Cousins and how that throw was, I guess, half a tick late, it's something that it's interesting to me. It's like, how have you coached that route, right? And how have you coached kind of the speed of what the defense can do and how that ball needs to be out on time and all these different kinds of things. So I'm really interested in what that relationship is like and what that dynamic is like behind the scenes, A, and then B, like what Kevin O'Connell actually really thinks. And I don't think we'll ever really know that. But this is one where at least you get to flush it quickly, right? Because sometimes, these bad losses, they can linger for a little bit. But when you have to move on to the next page that quickly, and guys after that game are literally getting massages in the locker room, they're getting in the ice bath quicker than they usually would from a Sunday to Sunday, then that kind of does help you flush the loss because you just have to move on that much quicker. Maybe that's what happens this week for the Vikings, and they go to Philadelphia and they put up a good showing. Maybe.
And if they don't, they go to 0-2. And then you got the Chargers coming to town after your little mini bye for week 3. You could be looking at 0-3. Panthers, maybe a respite if they could pull it off in Carolina. Oh, and then here come the Chiefs. So the Vikings may be staring down the barrel of a very rough start this year. And hovering over all of it, Myles, the fact that Kirk Cousins is a lame duck. And I know that guys enter their contract years all the time without anything beyond it. It doesn't happen with quarterbacks who regard themselves as fringe top 10. He was on Dan Patrick's show after the quarterback series came out, and he was asked the question about franchise quarterback top 5, top 10, and you could tell he wanted to put himself in that conversation. No. You're not in that conversation. And the unfortunate thing about the quarterback series, it kind of created this late career popularity for Kirk Cousins. He was very likable. People enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. I think it just makes him more content to be exactly what he is. Look, being exactly what he is has brought him this far. And he can carve out a space in that room in the house in Michigan for a Super Bowl trophy. It ain't ever going to be there, Kirk. Not unless you go to the 49ers at some point and you have a team around you that can carry you to the top of the mountain. It's not happening in Minnesota. And this is it for him in Minnesota. And again, the fact that the Vikings, I believe, are going to do everything they can next year to get themselves in position to get a franchise quarterback, even if it means parting with Justin Jefferson. And I said, if they don't sign him before week 1, he's potentially trade bait to move up to get Drake May or Caleb Williams, because that's what the Vikings want. They can say, oh, we're going to try to develop Jaron Hall. No, they want a franchise quarterback because that's what's been missing since Fran Tarkenton. And it's not Kirk Cousins. It's just not. And the fact that they know it and he knows it is going to potentially mar the whole season, especially if it gets off to a bad start. There's going to be a point where the air just comes out of the balloon and it's just like, hey, this is the bookend of last year. Last year, we pulled a lot of rabbits out of our butt. This year, there ain't no rabbits left.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, that's an interesting hypothetical to play out, man. You're trading Justin Jefferson in order to get in the conversation for Caleb Williams. Oh my gosh. That kind of blew my mind a little bit there. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Kirk Cousins can recover from this, especially because it's a primetime game. And, we know the narrative, right? We're just setting it out there without even saying it. Kirk Cousins doesn't play well in primetime. The numbers kind of do bear that out as well. But I think that there is an opportunity here to go into Philadelphia and at least play well. And you don't want to take moral victories away from anything, especially for a team that won 13 games last year. But if you play well, you're at least righting the ship in some way, but you can't have 3 turnovers by your quarterback and still expect to win most games. You just kind of can't do that. I mean, it's the same thing with Josh Allen and the Bills, right? You have 4 turnovers by your quarterback. That's going to really, really hurt you. So I don't know what they've really got to do in order to flush that thing this quickly, but they do. They have to put it behind you because you have to have that next play, next game, whatever is next mentality.
Can't let one loss become 2.
Yes.
That's the key. Got to get
More
over that
cliches.
loss. And if this wasn't in Philadelphia, it might be different. But home opener for the Eagles, first game there since they won the NFC Championship, and also a little sluggish on Sunday against the Patriots, a wake-up call for them. Can you imagine how loud and ugly it will be if the Eagles are losing at halftime? You heard the boos at halftime at MetLife Stadium on Sunday night when the Cowboys were up big. It'll be relentless in Philadelphia if that's what were to happen. True. And look, one of the things we learn throughout the weeks and the ups and downs of a football season, every time we think we have something figured out, we find out we have no idea what we're talking about. We have no idea what's going on. These teams are too tightly packed together. It takes a play here, a play there, a moment here, a moment there, and a game that would have gone one way goes the other way. That's just the way it happens. So we don't know what's going to happen this week as much as we didn't know what was going to happen last week. We just don't know. And that's part of the fun. That's why I've developed this bias against predicting outcomes of games. I just want to enjoy the games. I don't want to have to root for my predictions to be right. I just want to sit back and just say, hey, this is something. I don't need, like I say, I don't need to gamble because I don't need that extra little kick to enjoy football. I don't need to have this hope that my predictions are right to enjoy football. I just like to sit back and enjoy it. So Thursday night, sit back and enjoy it until it's 24-3 Philadelphia, and then you can, go do something else unless you're an Eagles fan, because when you're an Eagles fan in that situation, you like to ride it all the way to the end. You like to enjoy those nights where the third quarter and the fourth quarter is just kind of a scrimmage in advance of the next game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.